Hey, what up, fam? This is James. Um, what a weird day today. Today's my birthday. No big deal. But I think it was very interesting because they kind of set up an operation. Um, I don't know how many of you realize how many people in your family have been corrupted and taken. I personally have had several experiences of how they actually do this thing. And usually they try to get you in an emotionally weak state. I'm sure from my family members, they probably did it when they got really sick, or they induced a certain type of sickness or illness where they would have to go to the hospital, or in a weakened state. They like to put people in a weakened state, and then they like to implant this fourth dimensional object or a higher dimensional object. For me, it looked like the all-seeing eye, like the triangle. That's what it kind of looked like to me, but a smaller version of it. And from my experience, immediately once it gets into your brain, into your head, it immediately starts to destroy all the neurons and rewrites everything. And then basically you become a robot slave to whoever it is that's playing the game, whoever is the puppet master. I'm guessing it's a bunch of creatures, a bunch of entities, the Djinn, and their higher end technology. Anyway, so this is kind of like what I believe that these chosen people, these chosen ones, believe that basically what's happened to them. The Jews. They, in their scriptures, they're rabbis. They say that they've been chosen. They got God's chosen people. Blah blah blah. Basically, they've been chosen to be mind-controlled, brainwashed idiots that run around and enact the will of their gods or the people who they worship. Unfortunately, they reach out and fuck with people and mess with them. And unfortunately, especially if you're black, if you have a certain genetic code, a certain bloodline, they're gonna reach out and touch you. And they've done the same thing to me. Basically, my entire family's gone, or anyone who I've had a connection with. And they do these things because they have an agenda. They have an agenda of basically recreating or creating a certain type of society where they can basically have these Djinn come into this world, this dimension, this reality, and rule. And basically, I don't know if it's a gloating thing or if they made some type of bet or what, but they hate life. They hate humanity. They hate, from what I can tell, the Almighty, and are fighting tooth and nail against it to prove a point or whatever the case may be. Anyway, so the Asian guy's back. I don't know if you see him. He's right there. He nodded at me earlier. I don't know. It's kind of funny that they're kind of like a group mind. And basically, like a colony, each one has their own things that they have to do, but it's not with free will, which is very interesting. They just are they implant these things into you, and you're basically forced to do these things to whatever these puppet masters need. I, for one, have been a part of the mind control program, so I know that they use fear to get what they want. I've actually had plenty of experiences of them inducing fear, schizophrenia, and a boatload of other traumas to get what they want. And it's not just fear. I guess I graduated from the fear because now they're just all about stealing your energy. That's another part of the whole paradigm. It's a very complicated situation because they use once they implant your family, they use them against you. So basically, they create a portal in your family. They mind control them and copy their brains, and then they get a negative entity, probably a Djinn or something, one of their Djinn children, half Djinn, or whatever, and implant them into your family member's body, and then they become kind of basically exactly like your family member, and fake and act in all the ways possible. But you start to, once you become enlightened, I guess, or you start understanding what they're really up to, it's very easy to spot the lie. It's very easy to see through the lie, because a lot of them are very narcissistic. Even if they're only caring about themselves, they don't care about you. They only talk about themselves. I don't know if that's a product of the mind control, or because of who they are, as a species. But they don't give a shit about you. They don't love you. There's like, the empathy is gone, and if there is any, they're faking it. Um, anyway, so it's my birthday, and obviously, my mother. They got to my mother a while ago. I don't know when, but it was a while ago, and so they still are trying to. They try to basically use her, or whatever the entity is that's inside of her uses that genetic link, to try to manipulate me and others. Anyway, so today, I've had many of experiences with this entity. Um, I went away during my spiritual journey. I went to Ethiopia, and the entity, once it found out that I was going, it tried to get me to stop, and so it called police on me at the airport. All this other stuff. And just to let you know, I was like 35 at the time, and I had come into some money. And I just said, hey, I'm just not going to deal with, this mind control anymore. And I was actually staying with my mother. I put a couple of videos before about this. I was staying with my mother. And, I had government surveillance. I had people standing outside on the street. They had, birds screeching in through the windows constantly. It was basically constant harassment. There were people across. That's why there's people across the street in the old folks' home that were just, doing their thing. And, that's how I know. It's like they've just infected society. Like, you would never know if you were not a part of this, and you were just lollygagging about and not understanding, the mind control and how the system works. You would be happily playing your Pokemon Go, and you know, delivering all your intimate details to your phone, and to the people who are watching behind your phone. And the sexual deviants, and the manipulators. It's kind of scary when you think about all the things that they do to hurt you and to destroy your life, because it's really just all encompassing. It's like they just want to suck out everything about you, every life-giving force, all your thoughts, your sexuality, your family, your genetics, your timeline, everything about you. They want it. And that's how for me, it's a all-encompassing parasite. And they, like, for example, today, my mother, or ex-mother, or whatever the entity that used to be my mother, says, hey, I want to send you money, and happy birthday, and hope all is well. Let me send you a card. Give me your address. Where are you located? Let me find out where you are. And basically, it's their attempt to control, get you back into the matrix, I would say. Plug you back in, and that means attaching you. And there's a guy over here too. Attaching you back into some connection with someone who they can use to manipulate. And these negative entities have the ability to mess with you on the astral plane, and use you as a battery on the astral plane. So basically, think of it almost like a vampire. And your body is your house, okay, your temple. And the vampire wants in. It wants to play with your temple. It wants to suck out the living juice out of your temple, and it wants to remove the connection that you have to the Almighty, so that you can restore your temple. It doesn't want you to restore yourself. It wants you to constantly feed it, and die, basically. And so, you know, once you open up these portals, these connections to these people who are the jinn and their children, they will use them to connect to you and to use you, um, and attach themselves onto you, hurt you, manipulate you, basically connect you into their psychotic matrix. And I've been doing my best to stay out of it. Anyway, so I told this entity, whoever it was, and to leave me alone. I no longer am interested in being a part of. I know what it is. I know what you are. I'm not interested in being a part of your life, and I want you to just stop bothering me. Don't worry about emailing me. Nothing. Okay? I consider this. We're gone. We're separated, and it's real scary because, on the human side, it's like this is your mother. And they mind control you into believing that family would never betray you, and if they abuse you in any way, it's your family. You should be okay with it. Little do you know, where it's these jinn and their children who have an agenda to basically manipulate you and keep you from being happy and hurt you in different ways, and then steal all your energy and then kill you so that they can create their own race or their own species so that they can use them as portals and have more influence on this plane, and then eventually everyone becomes robots, and where that goes. These entities are the lie. They're the lie of compared to the truth. And so if you're living in truth, you're going to understand a lot more. You're going to be almost immune to the bullshit, and it's a lot of bullshit. And when you see it, you know it. And as you can see right here, I'm right in the middle of the bullshit. You got a courthouse right here, where I see people all the time going to court, all stressed out, filing for paperwork, and adhering to the system and working their jobs, and so on and so forth. And they're stuck in the matrix, not ready to be disconnected, or maybe they're agents themselves, participating in the system, and they do that too so that they can continue it, so they can continue to function and work. And you seeing all these police shootings, these false flags, you realize that even Turkey, the guy Edgerton or whatever his name is, created a false flag, like where they had a coup, and then if you look on the list of the people that he's fired or gotten rid of or killed, it's thousands and thousands of judges, police officers, civil servants, and more. I would think if 20,000 people had any interest in a coup, they would have gotten rid of his ass. However, he's managed to create a way to cleanse people who might be, interested in, working things out for the betterment of the people. The guy is obviously a tyrant and run by negative entities. And you can see by his policies, anytime you see laws and policies going up that restrict and reduce and remove freedom from people and their ability to live their life as they see fit, then it's a negative entity. It's a jinn or something like that. You see places where there are gates and, separation. All right. People running around in their suits and ties, thinking that they're special because they make a little bit of money. They can buy more things. They're part of the system. So, I had to deal with my mother, my ex-mother, or whatever it is that they implanted. And, all I can say is good luck to all of you who are going through your journey. It sucks sometimes, but stay strong. And, we'll get past it. We'll get through it and realize what the truth really is. And amen.